What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Tonight, we're gonna be joining a cult. So, hope you have a good time. Step on in. I'm Stephen Dwyer.
I'm Andrew Seelig.
I'm Nicholas Pisconti.
And this is SOS Cinema.
And we're watching Midsommar. Is that what it's called?
I heard just Midsommar.
Midsummer.
Things like Summer Ray, but like
TikTok star?
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram, personnel,
The movie's all about
fitness,
Instagram.
It's about her?
mogul.
Is it about her?
Yeah, it's about her. The movie's
Really?
all about her, actually. It's pretty interesting. So if you haven't
It's one
seen
of those new
Midsommar
biopics.
and you like Summer Ray, it is basically just her upbringing, her start, and into her fitness career. So definitely go check it out.
And she was raised in a cult, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, in Sweden.
So basically this movie is about a cult in Sweden.
Right.
And
A village,
it starts out as like a little like festival. Oh, we're having a fun little midsummer festival
of course.
for the solstice. And
But it
their
was
friend,
a special festival.
yeah, their friend kind of tricked.
Midsummer Festival.
A 90-year, once every 90-year festival.
Really? I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, in the village of Harga.
Me and Steve go every 90 years. So
Really?
don't disrespect.
Yeah, the last one was a banger. You should have been there, Andrew.
Yeah. At least 3 people
I wasn't
died.
invited. Where
Well,
was
it
my
was probably
invite?
good.
Was it lost in the mail?
No. We just weren't
Yeah.
recruiting you that year.
The-
We'll probably recruit you this year.
The Oracle,
Oh, okay.
he didn't see you in his dreams.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
just what
okay.
happens, you know?
The inbred oracle.
Sometimes you're not the chosen one. Hey,
Anyway, so yeah, like their friend kind of tricks him into going to that thing, pretty much.
Right.
Pell is
Pele.
his name. Pele, yeah.
Hold
And
up.
He is such a great salesman. I love. He was honestly the most likable character.
I
in this
hated
so
him.
nice.
I hated
Even
him
though
so
he
much.
was like, you knew he was a rat at a certain point, but it's like, damn,
But he was like a nice rat.
yeah. He knew what he was doing. He
Definitely.
was great at pulling people into that cult.
I kind of like too in this movie. There's like 2 different plots. The first like 15 minutes could be like the start of its own movie, and don't necessarily have anything to do with like the movie. I guess it does. Maybe.
Yeah, it took me in one direction and then brought me in a whole other direction. 'Cause I
Yeah,
thought it'd be
and-
about like her sister being like a possessed demon.
Right.
And this movie is also directed by Ari Aster, the same guy who directed Hereditary.
Go back and listen to that podcast.
Hereditary was kind of similar, where the first part
Both
felt
A21.
They're like Hereditary almost feels like 2 scary movies,
Right.
where you have like the one climax with the girl.
Let's not talk about that
And
movie
then,
right now. Let's
yeah,
go back.
you know, you can
Watch
go
it yourself and listen to our podcast. But right now, her Midsummer.
Back. Going back to the movie, I really enjoyed the very first part when they show you the old like folklore drawing, from the village, and if you pause the movie and you looked closely at everything, and I'll see like you wanna tell them what to do right now.
What? Oh yeah, if you haven't watched the movie yet, go back, watch the movie, and then listen to the podcast because there's gonna be major spoilers in this. And you hear a dog barking, he's telling you to watch the movie. So watch the
Yeah.
movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Listen to the
little pupper.
dogs. Anyway, so at the beginning of the movie, you want to pause it and you want to look at this drawing. You can actually see the plot points that happen throughout the movie. There's a depiction of everything that happens within the festival,
Maybe it's like a
and like down to like
Is that a
their-
quilt?
like
The
they
quilt thing?
no, it's like a wood painting.
Wait,
And
what
they
part?
even show like the specific characters, like Danny, Mark, Christian. I forgot the other
I
kid's
totally
name.
missed that.
is it a prophecy?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Well, like the guy says later on, they take the drawings of their oracle, and the elders interpret them.
Wait, so was this drawing when they were in America still, or do we see it when they go to Sweden? Because
It's the very first shot of the movie before they show anything.
movie.
Pretty sure.
Okay. The intro scene type
Yeah,
deal.
like the harp comes in. It's like dun dun dun,
Yup.
dun dun, and it pans over the painting.
Very cool. I remember that now. Okay, for
Nice little detail.
sure. Going off that too, funny. We'll talk about this later, like in detail. But the quilt scene, if you notice when they're outside showing off the area that they're in, they're staying in the grounds. They go by a quilt and it shows this depiction of like blood and a girl, and taking like a little hair from like her
Yeah.
nether regions. I'll say to keep it PC. And that also depicts a big part of the movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah. To kind of go back to the beginning a little bit, I think it's kind of funny. So it's Mark. No, not Mark. Christian.
Christian is the boyfriend.
Probably like the worst character. Like
asshole.
Yes.
Ari Aster
Completely
completely
irredeemable.
just like threw that guy into the fire in that movie. Like he
Yep.
gave him no redeemable qualities. He his girlfriend's family just died. And he's like, oh, I gotta stop calling me. Like,
Yeah, he
really
he was-
unsupportive.
He was already fully checked out of that relationship, and then he just kind of like stayed with her.
Yeah, and he invited her to Sweden with them because he wanted to be nice. Didn't think she was gonna come.
Right.
And then that creepy friend Pele was like, "Yo, I really wanted you to come. I'm really glad you're coming."
Right.
And it's like pretty funny how like as soon as everyone walks away, Pele's like, "I kind of like you," in a way. Where he's
Yeah.
like,
And
Well, that was
what?
that was like
"That was early."
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're still.
See, I'm really
in
glad you're
America.
coming of all people.
Right, but yeah, I mean, I feel like that was like kind of like friendly, maybe like.
Yeah.
Ah.
and let-
Well, we find out later what the actual intent was, but I feel like at that point you kind of depict that as.
I feel like we could take this moment to get into the main character of the movie, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
She has a very horrific beginning to the
Yeah.
story.
Terrible.
Literally, she got like some cryptic email from her sister, and she's emailing her sister, emailing her, calling her. Nobody's answering. She calls her parents home, and you see the parents lying in bed. And, they look a little bit off. And then she keeps on calling. She calls Christian, and he's like, "Oh, this is just her another ploy for attention. Like
Right.
that's all this is. Like you just get worked up over nothing." And he's almost being a good boyfriend. You think Danny calms down. She's like, "Yeah, you're right." And then it turns out that her sister carbon monoxided the entire house with her parents in it,
Right.
killing herself and her parents.
And they never really explained
They don't.
why. I don't know if it was like a maybe.
I think she had a disorder,
yeah,
mental
she-
disorder,
but
but
they
I don't
just
understand
very-
why they
how to
included
connect
that
it.
in the movie.
Well, I think.
Well, it's to start to show how incredibly low of a point Danny was at.
okay.
how-
It was. Do
she
you
was
think it
just
was
as
like
lonely as
genuinely
it could
just to
be.
show that? Do you
Yeah, I
think-
mean,
Okay. Yeah.
Like she loses her family, and the only she talks to one friend at one point, but other than that, the only person she turns to is Christian, who's completely unsupportive
Right.
of her.
And it kind of makes sense
Like
because where she ends up
she's
at the
just
end, too.
alone.
Yeah.
So they go to Sweden,
Right.
and at first it's like, it's like, oh, it's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They take I think it's a psychedelic, right?
Yes,
Mushroom
they get
tea?
Mushroom.
They immediately get there and start taking some shrooms. It's like
Really-
college spring break.
Yeah.
Really interesting, yeah.
And wait, I'm sorry, real quick. Kid who's vaping all the time. What's his name? I forget.
Mark is it the eyebrow kid?
Yeah, he's like in
Yeah,
a ton of movies.
Kenny from We're the Millers.
From Where the Millers, yeah. So Kenny
was-
from Where the Millers,
I referred to him solely as Kenny in my notes.
I call him eyebrows.
dude, he's such an asshat. Like I cannot. Like he has to be my least
Jester.
favorite.
I love him,
person.
dude. He's the comic relief for that movie for sure.
He's the jester.
He is the jester, but dude, I don't know, just like the way he treats Danny, dude, and it's like so like to her face of just being such an ass.
He's that friend that is just always just calling his best friend out for being like a simp. He's like, "Bro, you're always with your girlfriend."
He's like
literally,
the
like,
only normal
no
one. I feel like,
regard.
though.
How is
'cause
he normal?
of the group, because let's think. Who's the Christian is like a little irredeemable. It's like doesn't care about anyone. Doesn't care about his
Christian
girlfriend,
blows.
boyfriend.
Christian does suck.
Who's the
I-
guy doing the research paper?
I can't think
Or the
of his
thesis?
name. It wasn't Johnny, was it?
Hold up. 5. It is Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty normal, but
He's pretty. Yeah.
he's just very set on his. He's just very set on
Yeah,
his
He's
thesis.
not there for vacation though, and I
Yeah.
think that's the whole point. Is like he invited his friends along with Pele.
But yeah,
Um,
no. What I'm saying is, I
yeah.
think obviously Pele was just a creep. I thought, but I think Mark was the most relatable character, which is why I liked him because I feel like he was kind of the stand-in character where I could put myself in his shoes.
Okay.
Because
He was like an ignorant American outsider, I think.
yeah,
Very.
Going to a
Yeah.
foreign land, you know.
He also made a pretty funny statement early in the movie. I can't even remember the line, but I wrote the line. No pun intended, but I wrote in my notes, "Spread Lyme disease awareness."
because when they're
he-
walking through the grass around the
Yeah.
psychedelic, and apparently,
Oh, yeah,
it's-
He's like, is there
he's like,
ticks?
he's like, my uncle has Lyme disease. He's fucked.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Wait, actually, yeah. No, go ahead.
no, so they go have the little trip on the mushrooms,
Right.
and then they go into the
Danny freaks out a little bit.
She freaks
goes,
out.
cries alone.
cries
And
alone.
what about when she goes into the bathroom to cry alone, and just for a second, there's that person standing behind
Yep.
her,
Yeah,
and then it immediately flips to her sprinting out of the bathroom into the woods. Like, what do you think that was?
Also, can we also talk about how after their trip, and they find Danny just like laying down the grass, and she's like, "How long have I been out for?" And her boyfriend's like, "I don't know, it's been like 6 hours."
We found you 6
It's
hours
yeah, it's
ago.
the next day. It's like, what, dude? Like,
And it was her
you-
birthday
you-
too.
Yeah,
She didn't
so
care.
you
So
just
you
left her
found
out
her,
there.
and then you sat next to her for 6 hours. Like what?
And
what
she
were you
was
doing,
obviously
man?
unconscious or whatever. Like, you wouldn't even check to make sure she's okay. I don't know. That whole scene just was like very strange to me.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
I know we're hopping around a lot right now, but I want to bring this up too
Pretty
because I
linear.
think it's pretty interesting too. So Pele's the friend's name?
Ingmar, his brother.
Ingmar's brother. Okay, the scene where Ingmar introduces Connie and Simon to the group,
Yeah.
and they're walking around. This is before we see the tapestry with the bloody drink.
Like, hey, I brought some
Yeah,
shrooms.
but he was not like. So after that, but like this is the next day, I think. But when he was like, "Yeah, me and Connie, like I took her out a date. We almost started dating," and then she's like, "No, we didn't."
Yeah.
That was like so unsettling. Like you could tell something was off. Like
Wait.
with that crew.
So Pele said
wanted-
that to her?
Ingmar did, his brother.
Ingmar
So-
introduced the
yeah.
people that he brought and said that the girl he brought was like, oh, funny. Like, I met Simon, the guy that she was engaged to. Was like, I met Simon when I was on a date with Connie.
Interesting. I'm not sure. There must be something behind that.
Yeah, when I watched it around the second time, I felt like it made more sense that he chose them to bring because maybe he wanted revenge.
Yeah.
Because Simon stole his girl.
Interesting.
And
'Cause,
so
like,
now, sorry, you go.
yeah, they were looking for people to. I mean, not to spoil it because you guys should have watched it.
They're
But
recruiting.
recruiting people for human sacrifice. Like, screw this
Yeah,
person. Didn't want to
basically.
date me. I'm gonna kill her.
Dude, and like, this shit's planned out.
Yeah. So does Ingmar know he's gonna die?
I think so.
Wait, Igmar does?
So I'm not
Ingmar
sure.
dies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's in the burning temple at the end.
I'm not exactly sure what the customs are, but I think they said that if you bring flesh to die, then you also sacrifice yourself.
but that doesn't
then
make sense.
Peli should
Because
have
they
been
believed in
sacrificed
sacrifice,
too.
though. They were
But I
like,
don't think
it
he
was an
was
honor.
because he brought the May Queen.
And also, I think it's because a May Queen gets to choose. I think Pele was one of the step-ins, maybe, and she chose her boyfriend instead to wear the bear outfit.
Perhaps.
Also,
I don't know.
what does the bear symbolize?
I'm gonna
in
go
your
back
opinion?
a little. Let's go into that a little later.
Okay,
I don't wanna
yeah,
kinda
we'll pause.
mold
We'll
in
put
here.
up. We'll put
Yeah,
up.
Yeah. Go into that
Right
later.
there, yeah.
So I mean, it was pretty normal. It was like it was an interesting, like, colonial kind of like, ceremony.
When they first get there, Kenny or Mark goes, "So we're stopping in Waco before his village." Like first thing he says. That's his very first. line
I missed that. But
when
the
they get
whole-
to the village.
the cult thing. And
Yeah,
By the way, Waco and Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix. Great show.
Amazing.
because like
Definitely watch. It's a
Yeah.
mini series, 6 episodes.
you
Great
get
show.
Must
you get
watch.
there and it is a really cool like little quaint village and
Yeah.
like the bum ass of Sweden.
Honestly,
and
it's
they're
a pretty
all-
good vibe.
They're
the
all
whole
wearing
time.
these wicked bright
Nice sun.
robes.
No real nighttime.
It's it's like the 18-hour days in Sweden in the summer.
Well, honestly, too, and like after you like view the movie, you'll totally have like a different perception of it too. And like when you're watching it, obviously things change for like the second, third time watching and stuff. But if you put yourself out of the mindset of having seen what the movie is, what's about to happen in the movie, and kind of watch it from a first time perspective,
If you didn't know it was a horror film,
right? The whole vibe that's going on at their like village, and like especially where you knew you were going to like a remote commune type village, it's pretty cool what they got going on, and it looks very inviting and very accepting.
Mhm.
So like what goes down in the
That's-
movie isn't really anything that I would expect.
That's
It
how
just
they
seems-
get you.
Yeah,
Literally.
it just seems like a nice, like, old time, like, Nordic traditional, like,
Right.
thing. Like, they probably, like, you would think that they do this little ceremony, then they go back to their normal lives, and it's
Right.
like a kind of a tradition thing. But it got really weird when they had the feast, and then
Which feast?
actually before that, Pele was explaining like the seasons and how ages affect the seasons.
Yep.
Also, before that, real quick, when they first get to the village and they they meet everybody, and Peli introduces them to like the guy who he hugs.
This is like dad figure,
Yeah.
father figure.
Like that guy says like hello to all of them, and then to Danny he says welcome home.
Interesting.
I noticed that too. And Loki, when you just said that, I saw a little bit of chills down my spine because I know it goes on later, and that's just like creepy, dude. But
And-
yeah, dude.
And then they walk like Simon and Connie and Ingmar walk past the bear in the cage, and Simon's like, "Are we just gonna ignore the bear?"
He's like, "What? It's a bear."
Yeah, and he goes, "It's a bear."
Yeah, it's so funny. Like the little details too that you pick up later, because like it is, like you said, it is literally
Yeah,
planned to a T before it even happens.
sprinkles the like scary details in throughout.
It's amazingly
It just
done.
slowly builds up.
Phenomenally done. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the little details they sprinkle in. Then talking about the different ages.
Yeah,
They go from spring represents 0 to 18,
Right.
which is where like your new life, you're beginning your
It's
life,
budding.
and then budding. Summer is like, I got merging. I don't even know what that.
18 to 36.
18 to 36.
Could be sprouting into like
Sprouting
the
into
tree.
yourself.
Like,
It's
the
when you
full
go out
form.
and